Let me start again. There you go. I was muted. Apologies, people. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And I just wanted to thank all of you for your amazing support, although I was muted at the start there. We've hit 40,000 subscribers. It's always... you never expect to hit these milestones when you start off your channel. You think, all right, is anybody going to take to the channel at all? So to hit 40,000 subscribers is unbelievable. I have to big up every single one of you for every comment, every like on a video, every super chat, every member, everything on the channel. The channel is nothing without the support of the people, and I want us to build a strong community here, get everyone involved. We'll have debates, we won't always agree, but that's what family is like. You don't always agree, but we keep it moving, people. Let's hit Granit Xhaka mode for the first time since hitting 40k. Let's slow things down a little bit. Big up to every single one of you for supporting the channel. Do you know what? I got some party poppers here. Let me lick off two party poppers. Lick off that blood clot. Yes, in Jamaica, when the DJ plays a big tune, them man start letting off gunshots in Jamaica. I got a couple party poppers from Christmas, people. Lick off that blood clot. Yes, you won't get that on any other channel, people, I tell you. I got some party poppers from Christmas. We have to lick them off. But yeah, it's not quite the Jamaica gunshots, but it's the best we got right now. Yeah, we want 50, Ted. We're going to hit 50, man. End of the season, we'll lick that 50k. Don't worry about it. No problem with the support of the community. Big up to everyone. You know what? Maybe when we get to 50k, we do a PS5 giveaway or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe we do something like that, 50k, man. I just got to get the money right now. Kanye West setting Young Jeezy. La, 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 la. Wait till I get my money right. Don't worry, I'll hit you up. I'll look after you proper, man. K. Hayes, stand up. If you ain't Tottenham, you get me once, people. You get me once. One time I'll stand up each stream. Apart from that, you can't get me again. Big up to every single one of you legends, though. Big up. I might even do a little giveaway next week, people, for the 40k. I just haven't planned it as of yet, but we may do a little something next week. It won't be PS5 settings. Maybe I'll do what shall I do? Sega Master System. For anyone who remembers that. A Game Boy. Something like that. But nah, we'll do something, a little something. And then when we get to 50k, we'll do something proper. You know what I mean? We'll do something proper. But listen, big up to every single one of you. There's the intro. As usual, the intro doesn't go without drama. I started off the first 10 seconds on mute, and then we licked off a couple party poppers. I got to clean all that mess up now after as well, so I'm vexed with that. But hey, big up to every single one of you, and hope you're all well. A game of Monopoly, yeah, I'll be decent. But listen, let's get into the main part of the show, and let's talk transfers. And you know what? Just as I've come on stream, Mikel Arteta has started the press conference, which is annoying because usually I would have listened to it and then we'd have done that afterwards, you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to try and get the press conference quotes up while I'm on stream so that we can talk about Mikel Arteta. You deserve 1 million subs. We get there in good time. Big up my bro Broads. Tetris settings, man. Used to sit in the back of my dad's car, Tetris on a green screen, on that grey Game Boy, man. Crazy business. They're probably worth decent money now, to be fair. But yeah, we'll do something. Yeah, maybe we give away some, you know what, there's enough training kits out. We'll do something. Yeah, you're going to get live waffle today, people, as it happens. A couple of things I want to talk about before we start talking transfers and Vlahovic and all the usual business that we talk about. Couple of stories. One a little more serious, and one that obviously could be very good news for Arsenal moving forward. So Arsenal, usually I would criticise Arsenal. Arsenal have released a special one-off, no more red kit for the FA Cup third round match away to Nottingham Forest on Sunday. But this one has a lot more meaning and a much more serious story behind it. So I am actually going to praise Arsenal for what they're doing. Obviously, knife crime and general crime was very high last year in London and in the UK in general. So Arsenal have released this kit, no more red, that will be all white. Obviously, all white usually is related to Tottenham, but they're doing it for a very good cause. Apparently, you can't even buy this kit, which I get it, because on one hand, they're not trying to make money on it, but then on the other hand, they could have maybe sold them and given the money back to a charity, which could have made sense. But anyway, listen, it's these are the kind of things that, for me, football clubs have to do more for these sorts of things. You know, as somebody that, you know, I've lost a friend before to knife crime when I was living in Nottingham. I know in London, a lot of people, this is something that has affected a lot of people. And I think football clubs have to understand they can have a very big impact on communities and doing more with people in the communities. So listen, usually I'm like, oh no, you know, it's another training kit, but I've actually got huge respect for what they're doing here. It's called No More Red. Obviously, they don't want any more blood shed on the streets, and they will be wearing this kit against Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Hopefully, we get the win. And listen, massive, massive respect to Arsenal for this, and I want to see more clubs do more for their communities, because I think football teams have to understand that they have a huge impact on the communities that they're in. You know, there's a lot of talented people who live close to these grounds and even far away, and I think clubs have to find a way of being more connected with the communities around them. So massive respect to Arsenal for this. And I know, you know, this is a problem, like N.Dot saying here, same in Birmingham. You know, I've spent a lot of time in Birmingham growing up. I played for Kidderminster. And obviously in Nottingham, where I'm from, in London. So wherever, you know, I'm delighted to see Arsenal jumping on this campaign, and I hope they can do more to help the community. So big up Arsenal for bringing out a kit for once. Andrews, thank you for the super chat, said Arteta on the midfield. We are very short at the moment. We're going to move and look for options because we are short there. Congrats on 40k. Big up to you, Andrew. And some of you will probably be seeing what Arteta's saying in the press conference before me, because it's actually live as we speak. I believe it's just finished. So there are probably a lot of quotes out there. So I'm going to try and get them up as we actually get going. I've got a live feed up now. So hopefully we can get all the quotes, because the Arsenal website, they don't put the quotes up for about half an hour, 45 minutes for some reason. So I'm hoping on Twitter I can get all the quotes. And we'll do live waffle today, people. You get your lunch live today. So we'll see what Mikel Arteta has got to say regarding transfers. And I know he was asked about Aubameyang catching COVID as well. So interesting. Big up to every one of you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone on your well wishes on hitting the 40k. As I said, the channel does nothing, goes nowhere without the support of every single one of you. So I really appreciate your support. Do you know what? Let's start off with a little bit of team news for the game next week. Now, this isn't even Arsenal team news. This is team news coming out of Tottenham. Now, we obviously play Tottenham next weekend in one of the biggest North London derbies, I would say, in a long time. And Antonio Conte has just confirmed in his press conference, he has said, Antonio Conte has just said that Son, Heung-min Son, has had a scan on an injury picked up against Chelsea and will not train until the international break at the end of this month. So Heung-min Son, as long as he's telling us the truth here, Conte, Son will not play against Arsenal next weekend in the North London derby. And that, listen, I don't wish injuries on any player, but from a purely Arsenal point of view, that is fantastic news. Because Son, for me, is, you know, I think for most people, he's their best or probably their second best player. And he's got a great record against Arsenal. So listen, wish him well. Don't wish injury on any player. But if he was going to get injured, then, you know, miss the Arsenal game by all means. So Heung-min Son will be injured for the game against Arsenal next weekend. So shameless settings, man. As I said, I will never brag about any injury to any other player. But if he was going to be injured when you're playing Arsenal. I'll take that. But I never trust managers when they do this. I remember a lot of the time Mourinho would come out and say, oh, Hazard's injured, or somebody would be injured and then miraculously recover by the time they played against Arsenal. So, it could be mind games. Like Alvin's saying, it could be mind games, but as Nicky's saying, we will take it. Gunnar Vettel said, rest up, Sonny, take a few weeks, I'm telling you. So, let's hope that he doesn't recover in time to play Arsenal. We are going to try and get into this press conference reaction. Chris Wheatley at the moment has got some live bits and bobs up, so we're going to try and do it through his Twitter account rather than the actual Arsenal website. So, Mikel Arteta is back. Of course, he missed the last game against Manchester City with COVID, but he is back now. Broad said it's a big compliment to say that, even though we don't wish injury upon anyone. Exactly, you know what I mean. Fitz-Joseph, big up to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said the white shirts should go on general sale. It would break all records and a lot of money would be made for anti-knife community projects. And listen, somebody just said in the comments, this is a worldwide problem. And I want to reiterate that I'm not being dismissive of the fact that this happens around the world, and it's something that football clubs need to do to try and help. I'm just speaking more on what goes off here in England, and I think you're spot on. This is actually one kit that I think Arsenal should have sold and probably said, you know what, we're going to give all the money to charities. I think that would have been a great way to add more money to the community. But maybe they're going to give money anyway, so we'll have to see. Tim Morgan said, yes, Kurt, love him being a member. Still fuming about that DM I sent you. £400 for a Spurs ticket. Can't get a Knots one, so I'm hoping you're doing a stream on Sunday. At the moment, I will be doing a watch-along for that game. And Tim was saying he was looking for a ticket, and somebody's offered him a ticket for the Spurs game at £400. I mean, like I said, people, man, the fans, unfortunately, at times are secondary, unfortunately. So, £400 for a ticket against Spurs is crazy. Right, let's talk about Mikel Arteta press conference reaction. Live waffle, people. These waffles straight out of the Waffle House today. And we're going to get the live waffle, get the syrup ready, and let's hear what he had to say. Mikel Arteta said, I feel good. I had a rough few days. I was so happy to leave my house after 7 or 8 days in isolation. The only thing is you don't get to see the question that was asked to him the way they're putting it here. But we'll get through it. We'll muddle through it, people. Arteta on the postponed Liverpool game, he said, we wanted to play the match, but you have to understand clubs are having a lot of issues. Listen, I'm sure he knows he needs to tread carefully, As much as Arsenal fans, a lot of Arsenal fans were very frustrated and annoyed with the way that game was called off. I saw Liverpool tweet today that the game, their training ground, has opened back today. And a lot of Arsenal fans were in the comments going, listen, man, how come the training ground opens a couple of days after Arsenal? But we have to be careful. I believe Klopp lost one of his parents to COVID. Pep Guardiola lost his mum as well. So, Arteta's got to kind of be sensitive about what he says when it comes to this. And he's had COVID twice himself. Arteta said, on watching the City game from home, he said, it's a very strange feeling trying to communicate with the players through the computer. I'm not used to it. So I'm really trying to work this out. So are we saying here that he was on like Zoom at half time or something, giving out the team talk? Like, what was that? AirPod Albert not even running the show. That's interesting. So he has confirmed he was communicating with the players through the computer during the game. So at half time, what have we done? Just put put a big screen in the middle of the room, said, right, get Mikel on Zoom, mate, and do the team talk. I don't know what he said at half time, because I'm not going to lie, the first half we were playing fantastic. So whatever he said to them at half time, it didn't quite work. Man said, you ain't escaping the dictator. The man's got COVID. The man's at home and still wouldn't let AirPod Albert give the team talk at half time. Man said, listen, put me on the screen and let me talk. You know what I mean? Man did a Discord at half time. Man was on YouTube doing a live video at half time. South London's finest said, Arteta is buffering, shouting at Xhaka and Gabriel. Man said, Granit. What you doing, Granit? Man said, listen, we're having some technical difficulties here, mate. I don't know what he said. Xhaka obviously thought he said, listen, mate, first time you get near Bernardo Silva, just pull him down to the floor, man. There must have been some communication. Scissor said, man's got cameras in his cones. Man's talking to him while they're taking a corner. Man said, listen, mate, this corner, you better get this to the far post. Oh, dear. I bet he was on mute. If I was Albert, I would have just been like, I would have logged him in and put him on mute. And I'd have been like, listen, Mikel, we can't hear you. There's something wrong. I don't know what's happening. Rajan said the players put him on mute when he was yelling. Does he give Albert his flowers? And Callum said he logs on, let me talk. Picturing Arteta on a massive TV, looking down at the dressing room like a Bond villain. I'm telling you, straight Lego haircut settings. Can you imagine him? Man had COVID as well. Might have been sneezing during the team talk and everything. Ah, listen, Granit, mate, you stop. I said, what did you say? He said, I don't know, mate. I think he told me to just foul Bernardo Silva. I lost it in translation. Man like Coney from Spanish Town, you know. But let's move on. Oh, what a team talk. No wonder we lost the game. Great first half, and then Arteta turns up on the screen at half time, giving you a team talk. Oh, man, it didn't work, obviously. Whatever you said, Mikel, it did not work. Mikel Arteta on Eddie Nketiah. I mean, of course, we were always going to talk about his stepson, Eddie Nketiah. I'm convinced when Mikel moved to Arsenal from Everton, and maybe he met a young lady and, he conceived an Eddie Nketiah because he treats this guy like his son. He absolutely loves him. He loves him, I'm telling you. I thought Hector Bellerin was his true son of birth, but Eddie Nketiah is pretty close. He loves this guy. He said, I already spoke about Eddie and how I feel about him, the intentions of the club and where we are. He's with us, and I will keep having those discussions with him. It's just nothing but love, innit? It's nothing but love, Eddie knows how I feel about him. The intentions of the club and where we are. He's with us and we will keep having these convos. He loves this guy. It's like them adverts, when they come on the TV, do you want to adopt a puppy and, pay £7 a month? He loves Eddie Nketiah, man. I'm telling you, it's his favourite pet. It's like a Tamagotchi, man. Remember them Tamagotchis when you was a kid? You used to walk around and you pulled it out, you had to feed it. I don't know if was that a cat or a dog or something? Tamagotchi. If you're a bit older, you'll know, man. But yeah, man, he loves Eddie Nketiah, man. I'm telling you, man loves this guy. I'm convinced Eddie must hook him up with his mobile phone contracts, man. Eddie's doing that celebration for a reason. These men have probably all got brand new iPhone 13s, unlimited minutes, unlimited texts, and 12 gigabyte of data. He loves him. He does not want to let him go. That is for certain. If only he spoke about Aubameyang with the same kind of love. He doesn't get that love at all. McKeel said, love is blind. Love is blind. It'll take over your mind. Eddie, man, he don't want to let him go. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, I used to love Eddie Murphy. I always watched Eddie Murphy movies growing up. My mum always used to go mad because I'd be watching Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Eddie Murphy just swearing every minute. You know what I mean? I was a big fan. Eddie Murphy, man, I had the whole box set on video. Golden Child, Trading Places, Coming to America. I used to watch Eddie Murphy films for hours and hours. Delirious, Raw. As I said, man, mum was going crazy because Eddie Murphy was swearing every minute. I can understand loving Eddie Murphy. That guy was an elite comedian. What the hell does he love about Eddie Nketiah so much? I don't know, people. I don't know. I don't see it. But he loves him. And he's desperate to keep him at the club. Somebody he's definitely not desperate to keep at the club is a certain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Boomerang, by the way. What a film. Halle Berry settings, man. Jeez, that film was fire. Norbit as well. We can go on for days, people. But Aubameyang. They asked him, Arteta on Aubameyang in Dubai. And this is his response. Bear in mind, and I'm going to be careful how I answer this, because if I get carried away, you're all going to annihilate me in the comments. You're going to go, oh, Aubameyang's lawyer is back. But I'm being serious. I'm very disappointed with this answer. Let me tell you why. Mikel Arteta has just had COVID twice himself. It's a serious illness. It can potentially be lethal. We know that. People have lost their lives for it. Aubameyang is still an Arsenal player. You know, whether he plays for the club again or not, or you fell out with him, the man's got COVID. And the man doesn't say one thing to say. He doesn't even say get well soon. Yeah, lawyer mode engaged, people. This is voluntary work now, you know. Arteta on Aubameyang in Dubai. He said, for me, it's difficult to judge when players are away. The decisions I've taken are always in the best interests of the club. Now, apologies if you can hear my washing machine in the background, because it's going crazy. I'm going to have to turn that off in a sec. This is what happens when you're live on YouTube, people. But could he not have just said, as the manager, you know what? It's, you know, get well soon, Abba, but this, and this. Man just said, listen, man, I always do what's best in the interests of the club. To me, I feel like he's saying there, well, you know, I told you this guy was trouble. Now, I could be doing him dirty here. Some of you might say, nah, I don't mean nothing by that. They're asking him about Dubai and he's just... I'm saying, bro, this guy's one of your players. The man's got COVID. You ain't once saying, get well soon. Nah. We're going to have to pause this washing machine. The washing machine's going mad. I got to pause that, people. That's going crazy. That's going mad. Let me pause that. But listen, we're back. Order in the court. We need order in the court. I need to know your opinions. Like, am I reading this wrong? I don't want people jumping on me saying, you're doing Arteta dirty here, mate. You're doing him dirty. He didn't mean that. Man said, can neither confirm nor deny. But listen, the man asked the man about on Aubameyang in Dubai. You know the man's got COVID. He's your player. You didn't even say, yo, get well soon, but, you know, he needs to be smarter with his decisions or anything. Man just said, raw, you know. The decisions I make, best interest of the club. This is a diss track. I don't care. Track 2. Arteta's dissing Aubameyang. He's throwing shade at him, man. Are you telling me if Eddie Nketiah had COVID, he'd say that about him? Well, you know, I always make the best decisions for the club. Well, I'll be like, oh, Eddie, everyone at the club wishes him well. He knows how I feel about him. Let's hope he gets well soon, blah, blah, blah. I said, order in the court, people. Order in the court. It's a wash-along. See, you don't get this anywhere else, people. We're licking off party poppers. We got washing going on in the background. You know what I mean? Washing machines live longer with Calgon. Big up Joel, man. You're drawing me out now, people. Listen, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'm just saying, if I'm an employee, I get COVID, I'm expecting somebody to tell me to get well soon. But if you ain't, then boy, I'm telling you, I think Arteta and Aubameyang hate each other. Honestly. I know we don't know exactly, but I think those two can't stand each other. But we move anyway. We move. No get well soon for Aubameyang, you know. Man said, boy, you know, I do what's best for the club. It's as simple as that. Man's throwing all kinds of shade on it. Spin cycle Arteta business, people. Arteta says there are COVID and injuries in the Arsenal team right now. He said it was for COVID and injuries as well. I don't want to give anything away, as you can imagine. We are really short with numbers. We want to play, and that's how we are approaching every game. I think that's a little subliminal at Jurgen Klopp as well. Track 3, mate. We don't duck out of games. Jurgen Klopp diss. But yeah, it's interesting that he doesn't want to mention which players are out, which, listen, he doesn't want to give Nottingham Forest a leg up and let them know, you know, who's unavailable. Lars Incredible said, I got a different take on this quote, Big C. I think he is saying that he won't say anything because Aubameyang is not with the club. I hear you on that. But still, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it all wrong, you know. But whether he's with the club and contracted it elsewhere, I don't know. Let's leave it. But Arteta, you know Arteta, man. Mick Ross settings on a Friday. People get dissed. Aubameyang diss and Jurgen Klopp diss. Big up Laser Gaming who said Gooners. Big up Curtis Really Schooner on YouTube. Elliot said that washing machine is the comedy relief Arteta waffle pod settings. But yeah, he says we're short on numbers, so it's going to be interesting, the team news. Arteta on Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Let me click off that. And he goes on to say, Ainsley came to me and explained the reasons why he thought the best thing for him in his career was to move away. He believed the opportunity to play and work under Jose was a really good opportunity for him. Shots fired by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I got one more party popper. Cover your ears, people. Ainsley licking off shots. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, track 4. I need a real manager featuring Jose Mourinho. That's the last party popper, I promise you, people. Ainsley went and said, yo, listen, bro, I need a real manager, man. Let me go, please. I was pleading with you on social media in the summer. Just let me go. I need to play for Jose. Oh, dear me. I said I need a real manager. Look, we've even got Dusan Vlahovic in the comments. Oh, dear me. It's all going off. He said, hey, everyone. Look, this suits the Arsenal shirt, man. We'll speak about Vlahovic after this. Why couldn't Xhaka do that? Innit, Granite, man? Why didn't you go to him and say, I want to play for Jose? We could have been out of this mess by now. Thomas said nothing wrong with that statement. No, there isn't. There isn't. This brother ain't playing you. If Jose rings you, you listen. It's as simple as that. Jose is still a big boy in football. He's not the guy he used to be, let's be honest. But man said Ainsley wants a real manager. Ainsley said, Arteta, use a window sharper. Just let me go, people. Just let me go. But yeah, listen, they've let him go this time. I feel sorry for Ainsley. As I said, they didn't let him go to Wolves. They didn't let him go to Everton. He finally gets his way. Callum says, no way, Jose. But he gets the move this time. And listen, we've seen the Tammy's gone over there to Italy, slower league, and done well. Maybe Fofty can go over there and revitalise his career, man, at Roma with Jose. And apparently, according to reports, they want to sign him. They were trying to get an option to buy, and they didn't. So we'll have to see. Jeff said you should do stand-up comedy. Cooney said, that's gone off, sorry. Ben said Tamore, who did really well. Ben said, to be fair, who do we drop for Ainsley to play? It's a win-win. Listen, I don't think Ainsley can get in the Arsenal team at the moment, but I think he should have been maybe given some opportunities. Theo said, why are you looking into everything so much? That is what Waffle Sends is about, my friend. We break it all down. We go deeper than deep. That is what Waffle Settings is all about, my friend. More waffle than bird's eye. Julia said, Big C, give Arteta a break, man. Arsenal is in a better place now since 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago, we was in the Champions League. So that's not completely true, but I hear you in general. He's trying to build the structure of the entire football club. And listen, Waffle Settings is a little light-hearted comedy, so don't get too caught up in what I say in these press conferences about Mikel Arteta, people. So it's just a little fun. Let's continue. Let's see what else he had to say. He said, Arteta on signing a new striker. This is the juicy bits that we want, people. Sign some players, Mikel. He said, we have a special situation. In that situation, because there are 3 players with different issues at the moment, we have to live with that. And so far, the players that are here are very committed. I mean, I need somebody to break that down for me because he's speaking waffleese right now. I do understand what he's saying. I suppose the reality is you've got Lacazette out of contract in 6 months. Lacazette can actually sign a contract with a club outside of England and continue to play for Arsenal. So, you know, we're already in a situation where we could have a striker that is talking to other clubs, which is never ideal. You've then got Eddie Nketiah, who is out of contract as well, could negotiate with a different club. And then you've got Aubameyang, who we can say is definitely a very special situation in that sense. So, but listen, these are situations that we should have dealt with. There's no way we should have two strikers with 6 months left on their contract. So he needs to deal with that. He does need to deal with that. Man speaking straight waffleese. Zach said, you're transmitting hate. It's all fun and games, my friend. Anwar said, Big C, the politician. And Zahev said, congrats, 40k, Big C, bigger and better. We move, people, we move. Big up to every one of you. 2,000 of you in the chat already. Can we hit 1,000 likes? And let's keep getting those subscribers up. We want 50k by the end of this season. Let's continue. Arteta, waffle settings, talking transfers. Arteta on Arsenal, lacking numbers in midfield. We are desperate for midfielders. Ainsley's going to Roma. El Neni and Partey are at AFCON. We only have Granit Xhaka and Sambi Lokonga available in midfield. And then we're looking at young Patino. Arteta on Arsenal, lacking numbers in midfield. He said, we are very, very short at the moment. I like the way he says very, very short. This cannot be the argument to only keep a player who has been developed and raised through the academy. He was very straight with me and we understood the situation. So he's talking about Ainsley again there. Of course, we wanted to know a little bit more about incomings, but he does say we are very, very short. Now, surely, if he's saying that, he's going to address this situation. And this worries me. This comment worries me. I hope there's no truth in this. Earl says you can see him signing Wilshere. I mean, I'm sorry. No. Listen, I love Jack Wilshere as much as any other Arsenal fan. We all wanted that fairy tale happy ending. He should have been our best midfielder, England's best midfielder. He is not that guy no more, bro. He really isn't. We got to sign someone. And like Sol says, we knew this was going to occur in the summer. We knew that AFCON times, El Neni and Partey were going to be gone, so it has to be addressed. Herco said Ramsey and Wilshere. We were speaking yesterday about the fact that Aaron Ramsey is available. Allegri confirmed he can be signed. And is it something we're going to look at? Personally, again, I said yesterday, I wouldn't want Aaron Ramsey back at Arsenal. But again, you know, if we're not going to spend big money, this is something that's, you know, you wouldn't think is impossible. But for me, Aaron Ramsey should not be a priority. I think there are better options out there. Let's continue, people. Let's continue here. Arteta was asked then on signing a new central midfielder. He said, we are going to move and we are going to look for options because we are very short there. And that's good. That is good. I'm happy with that talk. I like the fact that he said, we are going to move. Give us clear answers. We don't want, we don't want politician answers. We want clear answers. And he has confirmed, straight out of the horse's mouth, we are going to move and we are looking for options because we are very short there. Good news. Arteta confirming Arsenal are looking to sign a central midfielder in this window. There is no excuse now. What the question is are we going to sign somebody proven for decent money and go and get a Bruno Guimaraes or an Aouar or someone like that, Renato Sanches, or are we going to explore the loan market if money isn't so far available? And maybe we look at a Wijnaldum, a Ramsey, somebody like that who is available on loan. So that is going to be interesting. Gunnar Vettel said, why has no one gone in for Basuma yet? My theory with Basuma is the fact that I just think Arsenal need a ball-playing centre midfielder. I think you can see that Arteta wants to play possession-based football. And I think a midfield two of Thomas Partey and Yves Basuma is not built for that kind of style of football. I think you saw the other day the best of Thomas Partey because he was allowed to go and roam and go and do his thing. I think Arsenal want a ball player. You saw in the summer when we thought Granit Xhaka was going to leave, the midfielder we were linked with straight away was Ruben Neves, a deep-lying, ball-playing centre midfielder. So that tells me that Arteta wants a ball player, and I don't think Basuma is that kind of player. I don't think he's the guy you give the ball to constantly and play the game through him. And like Gunnar David is saying, I believe there is still a court case hanging around him at the moment. So, at the same time, clubs may stay away from him because of that. Zupa said Arthur would be amazing. I think we could do with a whole player, to be fair, not Arthur player. Apologies, people. It's a dad joke. It's been a long week. But yeah, Arthur is a decent player, to be fair, at Juve. I know we were being linked with him. Mohamed said, cough, cough, Ramirez. I mean, we spoke about it yesterday. He's available for 38 million. And, he's definitely someone we should be looking at. That is for certain. Big up School Fuggery in the chat. Appreciate your message on Twitter as well, bro. He said, just seen more vids on Vlahovic's all-round game. I'm a stone-cold mug for saying he's a penalty and tapping merchant the other day. Forgive me, lords of hold-up play. I mean, listen, Vlahovic has definitely got more than tappings. He's got that link-up play and that power that I think could really help us. But listen, we're going to talk about him after this. Again, we're still chasing somebody that doesn't seem to want to be chased, but we'll try. Big up Skull Fogger, who said, congrats on 40k. Broad said, did someone say dad joke? I'm telling you, man, it's been a long week, bro. It has been a long week. Let's finish with the press conference. But like I say, good news. Arteta has confirmed Arsenal are looking for a central midfielder. He said, we're going to move and we're going to look for options because we are short. Arteta on Saka's new contract. There's talks, the people saying that teams like Liverpool are sniffing around him. I think he's got 2 years left. He said there is time to talk about all those things, so he doesn't want to reveal anything. Chris reveals there that Son will miss the game against Arsenal. Does he say anything else? And that is it. That is the end of the press conference, people. Short and sweet. But at least we got some good news that he confirmed we are going to be looking for a midfielder. And that is good. That is good news. Can we hit 1,000 likes? 2,150 of you legends in the chat. Big up to every one of you for tuning in. And we're through the press conference. We're going to talk transfers, of course. Sure Sports News settings, people. It is transfer season again. And at least we know we are going to look, and hopefully we will get a central midfielder signed. Arteta has confirmed we are looking. He didn't really mention the striker situation as much. He kind of said we're caught in a special situation where, we've got 3 players, 2 of them running out of contract, and one of them, of course, in Aubameyang, who's kind of in the doghouse at the moment. So it'll be interesting. Happy New Year to Mukhtar, who said road to 50k. Yeah, big up to you, bro. G-Dog said my favourite player, Wilshere. I mean, we all loved Wilshere a few years ago, but I'm not sure now. Let's talk transfers. Let's talk about that guy again. I've got a feeling we're going to mention this guy's name about 20 times this month. Let's hope it ends up with him holding up an Arsenal shirt. And that is that man again, Dusan Vlahovic, once again. And there are more stories. There are more comments. And this time, David Ornstein is talking about Vlahovic. He did an article for The Athletic. And as I say, The Athletic is pretty much the mouthpiece of Arsenal. And Ornstein has said a few interesting things here. Now, I always say with The Athletic, sometimes I feel like they're saying things to get in favour with the fans rather than actually really meaning that they are going to get the player. I hope they're being serious and that they're getting him. Somebody said that Vlahovic turned off his comments on Instagram because Arsenal fans were commenting so much on his comments saying, come to Arsenal. He actually disabled comments on his pictures. I mean, we certainly have got a fan base like no other. We got disabling comments on their pictures because they're getting hammered with comments saying come to Arsenal, which is just Arsenal, so Arsenal-like, innit? They'll be tracking his plane, tracking his car. They'll want to know what he's eating in the restaurant. We just don't mess about, I'm telling you. But listen, let's talk about the comments from David Ornstein in The Athletic and what he's saying. And he said some interesting things that maybe are going to give me a little bit of false hope as a shameless fan base chase him out of his Instagram pictures and disabling the comments because we're all over them. But hey, we're doing what we can for the club, man. This is what David Ornstein had to say. These are direct quotes in The Athletic. He said, Arsenal are pushing to sign Dusan Vlahovic, and if the player is to move in January, as things stand, Arsenal are in the strongest position to sign him because they are thought to be the best placed of Vlahovic's current suitors when it comes to fee and salary. So it's a case of we've got the money. We've got the money. We're sitting there right now saying, listen, the wages you want, we can pay them. The transfer fee Fiorentina want, we can pay it. They want Lucas Torreira. Everybody wins out of this situation if we do it. The problem is, does the player want to come? We've spoken about it time and time again, and I don't want to keep speaking about him, but, you know, the story is evolving, and Vlahovic is a player that it sounds like Fiorentina want to sell him. Now, I'm going to expand on the story slightly on what else was said. Now, what has been said next is this. David Ornstein has said, there is a feeling at Fiorentina that Arsenal are not Dusan Vlahovic's preferred destination. Likewise, Tottenham and Newcastle. Tottenham and Newcastle are linked with him as well. He's also saying that is not his preferred destination. And a wider sense in the industry that he favours a switch to Juventus. It suits Fiorentina to cash in sooner rather than later. Now again, we spoke about this yesterday, people, and the day before and the day before. We're the side dish. We're the corn on the cob. We're the peri-peri chips. We're the rice. We're the coleslaw. We are not the spicy chicken. We are not the main on the dish. He is not beasting to come to Arsenal. It feels like Locatelli all over again. Vlahovic, he's obviously settled in Italy. He's looking at Juventus as the big dog in Italian football. And he's probably saying, I just want to stay at Juventus. However, or go to Juventus from Fiorentina. However, as I say, pretty much every stream now, money talks, dirty cash, I want you. Throw the bag at him and see how he feels. Sometimes you got to convince people over things that they can't see. Now, 50% of the fan base will be saying, you know what? If he doesn't want to come to Arsenal, then don't bother with him. I only want players that are desperate to come here and they want to play for Arsenal. But sometimes you got to sweeten people up. This is business. This is football. Sometimes you got to show them what they can't see. From a distance, maybe Arsenal looks like a flaky project to him. Sometimes you got to show him, listen, we're on our way to Champions League football, I hope. You know, we're competing with your Man Cities and teams like that. Not in league position, but when we're playing against them. Sometimes you got to show him, say, listen, Locatelli went to Juventus. Look at Locatelli. Look at Juventus. Juventus are like 7th in the league right now. But at the same time, do you want somebody to come to your club that doesn't really want to be there? But we'll see. You know, sometimes you watch the 100 meters and you just know Usain Bolt's going to win the race. The only way Blake's going to beat Bolt is if Bolt pulls his hamstring. But Blake will take that if he pulls his hamstring and wins the gold. Sometimes you got to win like that. Charlie said, we need to break down doors for this one. I don't care what the obstacles are. This is the big money signing we need. They got to be aggressive. They got to go to him and say, listen, you're on 25 grand a week, yeah? All right. How about 175 grand a week? How does that sound? You want Champions League football? We'll be in the Champions League next year. Just blag it to him. Throw him a big bag of money. Bring him over to London and just show him the statues, mate. And just, try and win that battle. But listen, he favours a switch to Juventus, but he's not dismissing Arsenal. That's the one positive thing. They finally go on to say, the main options being pondered by Arsenal as possible alternatives to Vlahovic are believed to be Isak and Calvert Lewin. He also says, if a frontman does arrive this month, it will essentially be a summer transaction done early because it is primarily needed for next season. Now, I like that. I like that because I think that, and I said this yesterday, I think Arsenal need to do a summer transfer in January because we're in a better position than people expected us to be in. And I think Arsenal, if they sell Aubameyang, they've got to buy a striker now. We know we need a central midfielder. Now, he doesn't mention Jonathan David at all in this article. I thought Arsenal may look at, they do have a good relationship with Lille, but they don't mention him. The article only mentions Vlahovic, Isak, and Calvert Lewin. If we weren't to get Vlahovic, and you know what, let's get a poll. Let's get a poll up. Would you prefer Isak or would you prefer Calvert Lewin? Because these are according to The Athletic, these are the two other options. And The Athletic are very close to the club. They are the mouthpiece of the club. So maybe there's nothing in the Jonathan David links. Who would you prefer? Isak or Calvert Lewin? Let's get a poll up. I have to admit, I've never been fully convinced by this kid, Isak. But the Calvert Lewin problem is the injuries. It's getting a lot of muscular injuries. Let's see who you say. Storm said it's neither for me. Scott said Calvert Lewin. Damien said Isak. Khan said Calvert Lewin. At least he's prem proven. Gunman Khan said Calvert Lewin. Arnabi said Isak looks too raw and stringy. Vlahovic already built like a 35-year-old. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one out of the two of them. How much is Calvert Lewin? I mean, they're saying could be upwards of 50 million. He's an English international. He would cost money. Thomas said Isak, although he is Swedish. Thomas, of course, from Norway. Zhao said Calvert Lewin would cost a life. Socially outcast, I'd rather Isak. Not a great choice, to be honest, said Scott. So not overly happy with either one of them. Listen, I think it's positive that we are looking for a striker potentially in January because I do think we need a striker now rather than waiting until the summer. I think we've got a great opportunity, but I do think it is going to depend on who we sell in this transfer window. He also goes on to say in this article, David Ornstein, he said this as well, that Arsenal, another area on the pitch that could be boosted is central midfield, but thoughts about bringing in a right back and a left-sided attacker who can cut in on their right foot are less urgent given the progress of Tomiyasu and Martinelli. I mean, do we need a right back? Do we need a left winger? I wouldn't think that would be a priority at the moment. Arekis said Jonathan David, young and hungry for goals. I have to admit, I like Jonathan David. He looks good. Elliot said Calvert Lewin hasn't had a better goal-scoring season than Laka. And that's not, and neither one of them. I think Calvert Lewin's best season is 15 and Isak's is 17 in the league. So neither one of them are overly prolific. And like I said, the release clause for Isak, I believe, is 75 million. Which I'm sorry, I just don't think he's worth it. And Calvert Lewin, it would depend on the price again. With Calvert Lewin, what I like is the fact that he's got great hold-up play. He's excellent in the air. He's strong, and he knows the Premier League. And with the crosses, I think he would do well. My problem with Calvert Lewin, not overly prolific and very injury-prone. And then with Isak, he looks quite quick and looks like he can press from the front. I like that. But again, not the most prolific and looks a little bit lightweight. So I don't know with either one of those two, to be honest. 75 million for Isak for me is way too much. And I don't know how much Calvert Lewin would cost. I actually like Jonathan David. I know it might seem like I'm being awkward, but I would actually rather get him over both of them strikers. But listen, Vlahovic, that's the one we want. That's the one we're kind of chasing. But at the moment, we're chasing him away from Arsenal rather than bringing him towards us, which is a little bit unfortunate. But as I said, if Fiorentina are willing to sell, which I think... Listen, if you're Fiorentina, why would you want to sell Vlahovic to Juventus when that is a team that at the moment you're in direct competition with? If we look at the Serie A table, at the moment, they're close to each other. I'm looking at the table here. Fiorentina are 6th and Juventus are 5th. They're 3 points behind them. So if you're Fiorentina, the last thing you want to do is sell Vlahovic to Juventus in January. That's going to be the difference between you catching them or not. So it would make much more sense for them to sell him abroad, get the money, go and buy a replacement. But at the same time, it is down to the wants and the needs of the player. And it's whether he's convinced. It's whether he's convinced. Red said, Fiorentina hate Juve. I can't see that. I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening going to Juve, but it has happened. We've seen a lot of players in the past leave Italian clubs and go to Juventus. So, Charlito said Fiorentina are interested in a striker, Alvarez, so they must be looking at replacing him. Polymation, big up, bro, said rival fans are clowning us trying to get Vlahovic. Listen, let's get listen. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 bands, people. Right, let's keep it 100 bands. I get it. From the outside, it looks like Arsenal are chasing a player that's not interested. If Arsenal are chasing him, they must have been given some sort of indication that he's willing to come. Maybe there needs to be certain circumstances. Maybe we're not number one on the list. But there are, he must be saying, I will consider that move under the right circumstances. Let's keep it 100. Cristiano Ronaldo was going to Manchester City. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about this, especially Man United fans. They don't like to even believe that was possible. Cristiano Ronaldo was going to go to Manchester City, play for Pep, and clean up trophies. They had to get Ferguson on the phone to start pulling at the heartstrings of Ronaldo. Listen, man, I brought you to Manchester. I gave you that opportunity. You can't go to City or ruin your legacy. They guilt-tripped him, and he went back to Man United. Now, nobody talks about, Ronaldo wanted to go to Manchester City. Once the player signs for you, nobody cares. Now, MT said, no, he wasn't going City, Kurt. That was a play by his agent. I think if United never made the move, if United would have sat there and gone, do you know what? The deal doesn't really make sense to us. I think he would have gone to City because Juve wanted him out. And I can't imagine Ronaldo staying at a club that doesn't want him. And I think Ronaldo would have banged goals in for fun at Manchester City. I get it. Some people saying, no, Curtis, he used City to get the United move. I mean, he don't look too happy at United right now. I'm hearing reports today. He's saying if they don't get the right manager, he wants out. So, Zach said, imagine Ronaldo at City. He'd probably be on 20 goals already. Sean said, Ronaldo is an egotist. He would go City. I think Ronaldo's one of them just harsh guys who he would have said, listen, man, if City want me and United aren't making me, I'll go there. I don't think Ronaldo would have even thought twice about going to Man City. I don't think he would have cared about any legacy at Man United. That guy wants to win. But it would have been interesting. Listen, there's two situations. If Vlahovic is saying, I would go to Arsenal, but you're not my first choice, I haven't got anything wrong with that. I think that's fine. We're not in the Champions League, so how can we expect to be the number one choice? If he's turning round and saying, I do not want to go to Arsenal, and we're chasing this guy, just stop. Stop. Stop making offers. Stop talking about him in the press. stop chasing him. If they are the circumstances. If he's interested but needs convincing, that's cool. If he's not interested, then just cut him off. I don't care how good he is. Yeah, we'll make him sound not that good. We'll start saying, well, you know, he's only 21. He's only had one good year in Italy. He hasn't even played Champions League. He's not that good. But then if we sign him, I'll go, well, you know, he's 21. He's left-footed. He's one of the best young strikers in Europe after Haaland. Go and get him. You know what I mean? We'll make it sound however we need it to sound. Joshua said, Balogun on loan or Nketiah plus Torreira plus 45 million for Vlahovic. I mean, I'm not sure Fiorentina would want Eddie. I know they do want Torreira, so definitely we could use him. Big up Daniel Constant for becoming a member on the channel. Big up to you, bro. Like I said, we're going to do more content for the members. Always keep an eye out on the community page. Andrew said Ronaldo has no interest except himself and winning. No loyalty. He would go to City. Imran said, Curtis, would you take CR7 at Arsenal in his current form? I'd take Ronaldo. Come on. We'd take Ronaldo, let's be honest. Even for 18 months, just to wind up Man United fans. With the crosses that we're putting in now as well, I think we'd all take him. But Curtis, Chris Wheatley posted Ainsley arrive in Roma. Big up to Ainsley. Yeah, I've just seen the picture. There's a video, actually. So unfortunately, I can't play that. But yeah, he's arrived. And yeah, listen, fair play to him. Ainsley deserves that move. You know, he's had a tough time recently, and I hope he does well. Hopefully, it's another Joe Willock. Does well, we go and get, 20 million for him. D. Herx, big up to you, bro. Said, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Isak would leave us wanting another striker in a few years. Like when we signed Aubameyang right after Lacazette. Vlahović will be longer term, and that's a good point. You know, we waited years to buy a striker. We bought Lacazette for 50 million, and 6 months later, we signed another striker because we weren't satisfied that Lacazette was enough. And I think Arsenal, it's more important to sign the right striker than just signing a striker. Broad said CR7 is all about winning and world domination, just like Mark Goldbridge. See? Ronaldo don't care, man. Listen, if Man United don't get Champions League this year, he'll be gone. He's probably got it in his contract. I'll walk out for free. Big up Daniel Bailey. Hope you're well, bro. He said, afternoon, Curtis. Congrats on 40k. Thank you very much, bro. Hope you're well. Appreciate your message. Two Black said, we need two strikers anyway. That's a good point because, listen, if Lacazette leaves and Nketiah leaves, Aubameyang leaves, we, in theory, have no strikers. And with Balogun going on loan, we would only have Martinelli as an option. So I totally agree. I do think Arsenal probably going to need to sign two strikers in the next two windows. Let's get a few comments in, people, before we round up. We've been on for nearly an hour. Gonna react, said Bruno Ramirez. Get him in, please. This was interesting yesterday. Do you know what? This popped up on the timeline. Now, I can tell you straight away what Arsenal fans will say. They'll say no straight away before I even ask the question. Divock Origi is out of contract in the summer. He's a free agent, and apparently he wants to stay in the Premier League. Would you take Origi at Arsenal on a free transfer? Not as the first choice, but maybe as the second choice. As your backup striker. He's only 26, Belgium international. I think 99% of you will say no. Well, I actually think Origi is a decent goal scorer, you know, honestly. I've always said, I've got a lot of Liverpool friends, I've said, listen, you know, if Origi played more games, he would get numbers. I'm telling you, I've always felt he's a decent striker. Craig said, yeah, as a backup. Keji said, absolutely. Robbie World said, the GOAT. Hillary said, Origi in. Quite a few of you would take him. DJ Ash said, Origi to bring off the bench to change the game. Broad said, get him in. That's a deal. I'm telling you now, people. Interesting. A lot of more of you saying yes than I thought. I think Origi on a free transfer as a second choice striker would be a very good signing. He's a goal scorer. He's 26. He's quite tall. Like someone just said, he's very clutch. He scores a lot of important goals. I would take Origi on a free. If Arsenal went and bought a Vlahovic, a Jonathan David, someone like that as our main striker, and, you'd got Origi as your number 2. I'm telling you. And you got your Balogun as your youngster. You got your Martinelli who can play there. I think that would be smart business. I can see a few of you have said no, but I would take him. Sean McGee said, I'm a Liverpool fan. He actually scores when he plays. Let me tell you something. In my opinion, Origi doesn't get picked by Liverpool, not for the fact that he's not a good player. He doesn't get picked because the way Jurgen Klopp plays, he wants a link-up striker. And we know Firmino is one of the best in the business at that link-up, dropping into that number 10 position. Origi is an out-and-out striker. Number 9 plays on the last man. The link-up with Salah and Mane probably drops when Origi is up there. But he's a quality player, and he's come in clutch for Liverpool many times. Champions League final. I'm telling you. I know it's an interesting one, but for me, like I said, Origi on a free 26 as our second choice striker would be an absolute no-brainer. I would genuinely sign Origi if we could get a Jonathan David, a Vlahovic as the main man. But let's see. Let's get a few comments in. Big C, give him a call. Give me the number, man. I'll tie that deal up for us. Origi is still young, 26 years of age. Perry said Villa are interested in Basuma. Oh, man. I mean, listen, we haven't even spoken about that. But just for the fact, you know, Coutinho has now signed for Aston Villa. I hope this doesn't end up being one of those moves where we're like, we all kind of said we don't want him. And I hope he don't go there and light up the place, because we know we could have probably got him. But we'll see. You know, if they get Basuma and you know, Basuma and Coutinho, you know, they're good signings. Emma Hughes said, congrats, Curtis. Well done and well deserved. Watch every day with my Gooner on the way to 50k. Big up to you, Emma. Cray said, wait, he's actually signed. My prediction came true. He's actually signed. Yeah, in terms of, Coutinho's done. He's holding up the shirt. Gerrard got in his ear. Robbie said, I said yes to Coutinho. I mean, it was interesting. This morning, Trippier signs for Newcastle from La Liga champions, Atletico Madrid. Obviously, they weighed him in. Apparently, he's on 120 grand a week. And then Philippe Coutinho, a guy that, 2.5 seasons ago cost £130 million, has signed for Aston Villa. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing that he's at Villa. They got an option to buy him for €40 million. Damon, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate that, bro. Big up South London's finest. We've got 2.3k in the chat. Amazing numbers. Smash the like. Let's get 1,000 likes. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. As I said earlier, thank you to everyone who has supported so far as we hit 40k this morning. Big thank you to every one of you. Villa showing some serious ambition, 100%. Broad said we need a certain legend like Gerrard. Who's Arteta going to word up to join us? Oh, Jack Wilshere. Graham said, Curtis, Patrick Schick and Jonathan David are my 2 preferences for strikers. Go and sign them both. Get Wijnaldum on loan and buy Bruno Guimaraes in the summer. I think that Wijnaldum would be smart business. I would like to see Wijnaldum. If we can't get Bruno Guimaraes or someone like that, it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense. One final bit of transfer news before we get out of here, people, is Renato Sanches. That deal looks like it could be disappearing away from Arsenal. Arsenal have been joined in the Renato Sanches transfer race as Barcelona make the Lille midfielder a priority signing this month. Barcelona have taken out a £500 million loan to clear their debts and enable them to sign some players. They've signed Ferran Torres for $50 million from Man City. According to reports, they desperately want to sign Renato Sanches this month for £25 million. It doesn't sound like Arsenal are completely convinced by him. They've never really made concrete moves for him. And it looks as if he could be on his way to Barca. Is that a move we'll regret? Should we have got him done earlier? What I will say, if you're going to let him go elsewhere for 25 mil, you've got to get somebody else in. So it looks like Renato's going to go somewhere else. It looks like he's on his way to Barcelona. I've said before, I like him. I would have taken him. He wouldn't have been number one on the list due to the injury problems. I believe he's only played over 20 league games once in the last 5 seasons, which is not enough really when you think about Arsenal. So Renato Sanches looks as if he's going elsewhere, and Coutinho has joined Aston Villa on loan for 6 months with a view to signing for 40 million euros. So are we going to regret not signing Coutinho? Will he light up the Prem like he did when he was at Liverpool, or is he past it? Will he not be the same player that he was before? For me, my number one move would be Bruno Guimaraes. I'd take Aouar as well. And there are one or two others as well that we should look at. I think there are options. If we're not looking to spend big money, then for me, Wijnaldum on loan is an absolute no-brainer. Listen, big up to every one of you for tuning in today. Thank you, as always. I want to reiterate, 40,000 subscribers. Can't thank you all enough. The channel goes nowhere without all of your support, and I really appreciate everyone who's been there from day one, or whether this is your first day, onwards and upwards. We got a lot of plans for 2022. I'm going to try and get more guests on, some ex-players and things like that. So really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll do probably a little preview for the game, and then Sunday we'll be back with the watch along. I have got a ticket actually for the Forest game, but I think I'm gonna probably just stay and do a watch along. There's some cold weather in the UK at the moment, so big up to every one of you. Thank you for all your well wishes and kind messages. We are building a brilliant community here, and I hope everyone feels a part of it. And we'll preview the game tomorrow. Let me just end the poll before I get out of here. 63% of you saying you would take Isak, and 37% of you saying you would take Dominic Calvert Lewin. So the people have spoken. You want Isak ahead of Calvert Lewin. So anyway, people, big up to every single one of you for tuning in today. Lick down that like button on the way out and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bless.